Yes, we'll be back from the break. It's exactly 5 minutes past 9. Smart means a business. Amanju Marije, and definitely into our discussion of the day. Since it's the Women's Week, which will be wrapped it up on the 8th of March. That is on the Women's Day. So definitely this entire week, all the guests that we shall be hosting on the Business Insight, it's definitely going to be women in line with that. Now, in particular here, we are looking at unlocking the entrepreneurial mindset for women, employability, and of course getting to know the fact that on the 90% of the small and intermediary businesses, which make up of course the biggest portion for the private sector, 58% are owned by women, and the sad bit of them is that even the 58% rely majorly on into the micro and intermediary enterprises. What does this mean? As we proceed further with businesses having a turnover of 100 million, 360 million, we see men dominating and the women stop at the turnover of 10 to 15 million annually. But how do we create a gender balance? And also getting to know the fact that Uganda is one of those countries that have been able to register what we call the gender priority. So many countries that is in Africa. But still, with the businesses which are started up by leaders, majority don't have the muscle to sustain for a longer time. In other words, most of them are more survival based. They are not growth oriented. When I talk about survival based, they are started for a woman to be able to fulfill her short-term needs, probably at that particular time. And once she's done with that level, she might close that business. Now, for that reason, it's why I have my guest in the house. That is Maureen Wagubi, is the ED, Executive Director for the Institute for Social, that is for social transformation. And we're here to break down these matters. Good morning, Maureen. It's a pleasure to have you in the show.
Good morning, Andrew, and I'm happy to be here today.
Okay, very great. Now, of course, taking a look at women dominancy, of course, given the different statistics that we have been seeing, 58%, women, and most of the businesses which are started up don't even go on for a longer time. In your own observation, what could be the issue?
Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah.
Yes. Like you've already highlighted the statistics.
Yeah.
Uganda is one of those top entrepreneurial
countries.
Yeah. And we really appreciate that. And if you get to the market spaces, you see that the women are
Exactly.
You're already fighting on, make sure that things run.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, the business are not really sustainable. And what are the reasons for these, not making them thrive for longer? One of the main issue is that most times when people open up businesses, we are thinking short-term.
Short-term basis.
You're looking for survival, but you don't know that there is continuity for this business beyond you. And, that goes that, people don't invest in mentorship. That you don't have that somebody to mentor you how to grow your business. Because you need these people. Because if, for example, I want to join into the business of maybe construction sector, I should be looking out to somebody who is already into that business to guide me, to ground me on how to manage it. But most times that doesn't happen. And also there is also limited access to information whereby you can't even, go on to do research about it to ground you. They are limited. And the other is the skills also. Limited skills. Yes, in line with business management, financial literacy, issues to do with communication, leadership. Because if you have to become a sound entrepreneur person, you have to be the leader. There are no shortcuts. But are you able to lead? Are you able to delegate, to prioritize also? Because there's so many elements for business to stay sustainable that sometimes you are the solo partner, you don't know how to delegate, everything is on you. At the end of the day, you will die of burnout.
Okay.
And what happens?
It definitely collapses.
Quite a number of issues that are affecting our businesses, but those just a few.
Okay, very interesting. Now, zeroing it down to the women perspective, we're seeing how the culture and society has, portrayed women in Uganda and so many other cultures. How do you think this has limited their participation in entrepreneurship? Because there is always this mindset that is. And it started from way down with our forefathers, most especially with the cultural perspectives,
Yeah.
where women were actually, when they came into a home, they were like housewives. In other words, their participation in business, it was left for the man. But these mindsets have actually come even up to these generations, whereby women look onto men as means of financial security, not them being in position to establish ventures which will stand for a time. So, what's your perspective in terms of mindset for the women in that line?
Thank you, Andrew.
You're welcome.
You know, there are so many misconceptions around women's participation in entrepreneurship.
In entrepreneurship.
ventures. And one of them is that women cannot sustain businesses. They cannot.
Yeah.
Women, they are like risk averse.
Abbas.
We are looking at women, these are all misconceptions.
Yes.
That women, we always want the comfort zone.
The
we
comfort
want to go
zone.
for those businesses
Which
that we know are so feminine-like.
Okay, yes.
Cosmetology industry and what. But there's men also who are thriving into that business, actually,
Exactly.
and they are doing well. But there is also the misconception that women, if you hire a woman, or the woman is, balancing family,
Balancing
and
family
also,
and exactly.
and business, it becomes a challenge. You see, because naturally we are because things are changing. Women have been wired that for you, your role is to take care of home. And even if you're to do this kind of work, you have to have a certain limit and all that. But I think things are changing now. The culture is changing. We are seeing women who are into, engineering. We are seeing women who are becoming, very, very aggressive in line of business, innovative, very creative, because they are looking at the current trends. But the culture and the patriarchal issues still are there limiting the women.
Okay.
But still, we are trying to fight those because we have seen those who have succeeded. That's why we need the mentorship journey to continue.
Okay.
That you need these mentors who are doing it. Fellow women, woman to woman, to mentor you. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very, very, very interesting. And actually, that brings me to the perspective of, when you've mentioned the mentorship aspect, you see, we have a society that is dominated by men when it comes to controlling ventures. So what should be the woman's stand to beat the odds and stand out into such a society like we live in today?
The whole thing is not about fighting the men to beat them. It's about your goals. What exactly do you want to achieve as me, Maureen? Okay. You've said that women are having, their turnover is around 10 to 15 million.
Most of the businesses.
Yes. But for me, if I've set my goal, I want 300 million. That's what I want. I'm not competing with Varije. No. There is a set that I've set for myself.
Yeah.
So what do I need to do? I have to do research about it. What exactly am I going to do? I have to be very creative, very innovative. You see, that those are the things I need now. What is the current trend in line of technology and my business, and how do I thrive with the technology? Because now things are changing. So even if you say that women are, you're fearing men, you're saying men are the ones there, it all goes back to you. What have you set for yourself? What do you want to achieve? And that's why I'm saying that it is possible to have mentors, and the mentors will show you that it's possible. Because most times when you're alone, you think that the world is, it's ending somewhere, but you can do it. You can do it with support and those, of course, supportive networks that we need to establish. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Very, 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 very beautiful. Now, of course, now from your own perspective, in your view, how does embracing failure and learning from setbacks contribute to the development of an entrepreneurial mindset for women? And how does it impact their employability at the same time?
Now we are shifting. Those days people say, hey, she has failed. That one is a failure.
A failure.
Failure used to be looked at like in a negative kind of way. But failure is good. Because for me, failure, that even when you want to re-establish yourself, you're not starting from a vacuum. There is already knowledge you've built from the failed business.
From the failed business.
So you're not coming from an empty shelf, like, you know what to do. You have like that resilience you've already established. You become strong. You know what to do. You know how you got out of the situation. You see now where problem solving comes in. You know there was a problem, and this is how I handled it. So like there are so many things happening around you. Even the confidence you're building. Because even if somebody came and stood and asked you, Maureen, how are you managing? I'm ready to stand.
To stand. Yeah.
You know, because I know what I did and how I've transferred the current situation. So for me, I feel like even the employability you're talking about, even me when I'm employing people, I need people who are resilient. I'm not going to bring people who have not gone through some of these issues. And you see that even the interviews have changed. We have to give you like questions in relation, scenario questions in line with resilience, because that's what we need.
That's what you need?
Yes.
Okay. Very interesting. Now, of course, taking a look at like recently, we had the Private Sector Foundation Uganda partnering with the Uganda Research Institute, that is URI, in terms of providing skills and money, because like we mentioned, women sometimes don't have the ability to access the collateral and all this. Now, there is this possibility for them to access money to expand their businesses from micro to at least intermediary and skilling. But some of them don't really get to have the benefit of these initiatives. So, in your own view, how would you encourage a woman to position themselves to benefit from such initiatives that come up from the private sector and also government-led initiatives?
Andrew, you know, those government initiatives, they are very good. They are very good. And what we are currently facing, especially some of the women, is access to that information. Access to information. How readily available is the information, but how tedious is the process of getting that money. Yes. Okay. And then the other is that, yes, the money, you might get the money, but how prepared are you to utilize that money? Because Bariji, I can give you the money, but if you're not prepared to use the money, it will not help you. You understand?
Yes.
That's why I'm saying, yes, you have your entrepreneurial venture that you have set up.
Yeah.
You have your business plan and how it's going to work. Because most times I know we come from this, you know, when you do a business plan, you're like, it's going to start making money.
Of course, on paper, it's looking like,
immediately, like
a $1 million business.
You see?
Exactly.
Which is not always the case. So how prepared are you to fight through these? Because they might give you the money, you have no business plan or whatever, and everything goes down. Or you have a very beautiful business plan, but you fail to implement. Yes. So it goes back to skilling. How skilled are you in managing this business? How, you know, marketing skills. How are you going? There are so many things around it. Yeah.
Okay.
But these ventures, they are very good.
They're very good.
Private sector is bringing on board. Yeah.
Okay. Well, of course, we are discussing women here and their involvement into the business and the entrepreneurial ventures in the country, Uganda, of course, despite the few setbacks that they encounter. Now, another perspective here is, let's take a look at the leadership function, because it's key. It's one of the key elements that drive business, because it puts together all factors of production and interlinking the internal structures of a business. Let's take a look at women. How best can a woman pull out that leadership ethic to manage a business?
Yeah. Thank you, Andrew. You know, when it comes to business and you're going to be the entrepreneur,
exactly,
you have to have strong business leadership
ethics.
Because as a leader, you're going to work with a team. Which team you have to inspire, to motivate, to ensure that you have the common goals, that you're all looking to that. But you have to be a transformational leader, that you're also empowering the team to take on the leadership, because this business has to, to stay beyond your existence.
Yes.
That's if at all that is your goal. You're not looking at 5 years, then you close, you see. So how are you mentoring the others to take on leadership? But for you, are you mentored as a leader? Because not everybody is a leader anyway. There are those who are born leaders, but then there are those who need to be
made leaders.
So as a leader, you have to ensure there is decision making, there is transparency, integrity within the space, because this is what you need for your business. Because if you're selling out your items or your services and they are not working, it means there is something wrong with the leadership. Yes.
Now that brings me to also something in line with you see, in Western societies, children, women, and animals are highly protected. But now, of course, for our discussion to come up, why I brought this, because the women factor is there. Don't you think the fact that we don't have such measures towards women, can I call them rules that protect women in this country, Uganda, can also be a contributing factor to limit their participation in business growth? Because you find that at all means, because first of all, remember, women don't inherit here. Maybe when things are just changing, I don't know. But the little cultural knowledge I know, it's boys that do that, who are entitled to that. And many of them, even when they try to acquire property, you find that within the family, the relatives, the male relatives within there, take advantage of them because of what they perceive of them culturally. So don't you think the fact that we don't have measures or rules that protect women is also contributing to their inability to participate, because they don't have property, and when they don't have property, they can't have access to loans to invest and create jobs?
Yeah. I think I want to disagree with you
on
the grounds of laws. In Uganda, we have beautiful laws,
but
by the way. I think you can talk about the implementation issues, but when it comes to inheritance, if my dad wants to leave me his property, there is no law which says you cannot leave them to Maureen because you have sons.
But also we've seen issues which happen that way, and like I mentioned, the male relatives within those families come and take, because that means the law is weak.
That's why I'm saying there is the implementation challenge and access to information on some of these laws, the existing laws, you see. But there are also cultural issues, like we are saying, the cultural issues. We want the male child. But things have changed, and they are changing strongly. So for me, that one, I really don't agree. The laws are here, and we are still advocating as women rights organizations. That's what we are pushing for. There is the Succession Act. It is also there talking about, though some of these issues in line with giving,
inheritance,
women access and inheritance and all that. So for me, the other side of the collateral, it comes back to the cultural kind of settings for certain communities, because there are certain communities whereby a woman is not supposed to own land, you see. But now things have changed. I'm empowered enough to buy my own land. And it will be in my name as Maureen. Yes. But there are those women who are not empowered.
Exactly.
You see, that is where the issues come in. That's why we're trying now to raise awareness about, women's right to access. Access to education, access to resources like land, because land is a serious capital.
Land, absolutely.
Yeah, so it is all about us working together to ensure that we can give people the right information, and even highlighting that even if a woman accesses, she has access to the land, it doesn't mean that she's taking it away. But she's doing reproductive and productive work, which is going to build the family. And the woman, when the woman grows, it's like if she's productive enough, it's going to support the entire family, the community at large. You see, so everybody will benefit. So why don't we continue advocating for that? Yes.
All right, very interesting discussion in there. My guest this morning is Maureen Wagui, Executive Director, that is the Institute for Social Transformation. Let's take a short breather for now, and of course, we're still returning further with our discussion in relation to how women can effectively participate in the entrepreneurial space. Stick around.
Smart 24, driving business.
Osmosis is coming. Osmosis, what's the money? When do you see it? Send him to Momo.
My bossy, can I borrow fuel? Biggie money, can I borrow renty? Manager, give me some caloni. Okay, what about 5K?
When you need a loan, you've got MTN Momo. Wesotinge. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
The cavalry has arrived.
Alpha team, we are in position and we are go for extraction.
Max Verstappen takes the lead.
Carry a world of entertainment with you wherever you go with DSTV Stream.
Cooking oil like no other makes your meal so sweet and scrumptious. The taste of Uganda, yeah, the taste of Uganda, the taste of Uganda, yeah, I want ya.
Dive into incredible journeys of women who have risen to the top in their industries. From CEOs to entrepreneurs, from negotiation techniques to leadership development, these women share tools that have fueled their success. Don't miss the chance to be part of a movement that celebrates, uplifts, and empowers women in business. Learn about innovative approaches, overcoming obstacles, and fostering a mindset of resilience. Tune in to Women in Business. Let the inspiration fuel your own path to success.
Smart 24, driving business.
Exactly 29 minutes past 9, and you're watching the Smart Means Business. I'm Andrew Barija with my guest this morning, Maureen Wagobi, Executive Director, Institute for Social Transformation. But of course, before we proceed, still to remind you, this is Smart 24 TV, where we drive your business. You can reach us out on our social media handles, that is at Smart 24 TV. That's on Twitter or X. Where you can engage on the different discussions that we upload there. Kindly participate and give your views. And on Facebook at Smart24, that is Smart24 TV official. That's on Facebook. You can still follow us there as we deliver to you the business related information. And for those of you that are, of course, owning decoders, GOTV channel 320 and DSTV channel 372. And still away from that, for those of you that are obsessed with gadgets, you can go to Google Play Store. We have something in there for you. that is the smart digital application. When you have this application, I can assure you, you will be in position to stream Smart 24 TV, NBS Radio, and Smart FM at the same time. And for the streamers out there, Smart 24 TV Live, that's our official streaming YouTube handle. At any part of the globe, you can stream a Smart 24 TV, and also smart24.tv. That's our official website. If you need research on business related facts, that is the official website. You are into a business institution and you're looking for updated facts for your report, that is the place for your smart24.tv. And the plot 42 Nile Avenue, the official home for Smart 24 TV, where I'm coming live broadcasting to you this business information. Now, Maureen, continuing into our discussion here, seeing there has been a big challenge for the women, most especially coming to the responsibilities they owe towards their family and also balancing their professional work. And you find that this kind of hinders even their performance in their ventures, or it could be at their place of, at their employment venture or even their own business. She has to close early because she has to go back home, meet the husband and kids. At the same time, she has to still to report to her business. She has to first do home to take care of the home duties and do that. So how can women really balance that for effective, for them to be efficient in the society?
Yes, Andrew, women always struggle with that.
Exactly.
That is a very big challenge for, let me call them working mothers.
Working mothers, exactly.
Because some of them don't have husbands, but they have children to take care of. But one is for us to ensure that women are very effective, both in their homes and at their workplaces. We need women to learn how to prioritize. Prioritization is very important, but also delegation. Because you have to know which is, like the urgent things that you need to attend to, and what are those that you can now give to your, maybe your PA. But the other question comes in that how prepared are these people also you're delegating to? Because you also have to know the kind of the delegation kind of tasks, because you might be delegating something which might even be heavier than
exactly.
Then I will not deliver. So you have to really understand how to prioritize, but also delegate. And then the other is also setting boundaries. Women, we are known for, yes, I will do, and all the time you are there.
You're there.
Even at home, emails are coming, you're forced to check on the emails, what are they saying?
Exactly.
Like, you have to set boundaries. Say, this is home time, no phone calls, no office, no emails. You see?
Yes.
But sometimes we leave it open. Yeah, I'm talking about it, but I'm struggling with that. It is very hard. And the reason is because the competition is a lot. Communication is moving all the time. If you delay to communicate, somebody else is ready to take it on. So you have to be on the go.
Okay, I see.
So it is that kind of setting boundaries, which are also challenging to women, but also time management. In Africa, time management is not...
It's definitely a big challenge in Africa.
Most people. But it is the culture that we need to change. We need to change. And it starts with me. If I want to make things move fast, I have to ensure that I've lined up at 8, from 8 to 9, I've done this ABCD. This is what is going to... But people tend not to mind about time. Time is not waiting for you. Time is moving. For you, you're there sluggish. So we have to know how to also to manage our time. But the other is self-care. Self-care. Take care of yourself. Do exercises. Eat well.
Exactly.
Sleep. People are not sleeping. They are stressed. They are worried. And even when you worry will not take away the problem.
It won't change anything.
Yes.
Exactly.
Think of solutions. Not worrying about the problem. You're just magnifying it. So what exactly are you doing for yourself? put things aside and take care of your body. You need it.
Yeah.
Without it, you will not be here, or you will not even be running your business. But also having the supportive networks, like I said, because those are people who are going to ground you. When they're seeing you're going overboard, they say, Maureen, can you slow down a little bit? Can we guide you on this? Yes, I think those are some of the things that we need to ensure that women are really effective.
And also that brings me to, there is a narrative that they say that most women tend to get into positions, most especially when it comes to career, and they get to areas whereby it's not because they are qualified, but they are simply favored. And you find that when they are there, they don't deliver to the expectations. What do you think of that? The favor that women come with.
I think that comes with the element of integrity issues. Why would you hire somebody you know they are not qualified for that position?
Favor. Of course, some have interest. Why they have.
It's not about a favor, but you're doing the business a disservice. Because at the end of the day, the business is going to lose out. Or you will lose the credible people who don't believe in this person you brought.
Okay.
Or the other people will be overworked. And what will happen? There is demotivation, also morale, and then they will disappear.
They'll disappear.
And you see that there is high, let me say, staff turnover, and you're wondering why. And those are some of the issues that are bringing that. Because we have seen this happen. Yes, but why?
Okay. Very amazing. And now, of course, taking a look at the current technology innovation space, it's been a space that has been largely dominated by men still. And I feel since this is the future, the participation of women is also relevant. We need to feel their participation into that. So how do they use the different innovations, leverage on them to also showcase their creative skills?
Yeah, that is true. Men are the majority, and we are now advocating, of course, to, we are calling it the gender digital divide.
The gender digital divide, exactly.
Is what we are trying now to bridge and ensure that women also get into the space. And of course, I will also applaud Institute for Social Transformation for the market garden application, which is also enabling women to get on the e-commerce side. Because when you look at the market women, they're not people who are tech savvy.
Yeah.
And we need them to get there, because this is where the things are going. Access to information, you go take whatever you want, but these platforms, women have to use them for e-commerce purposes. Like I said, already we have that is working. It is a women's organization that developed it. So we are happy.
You're happy.
That, yes. Yeah, and we are seeing ladies who are also coming up to develop these apps. Yes, they are developing them. They are into the tech thing.
The tech.
The engineers, let me call them like that. You see.
Programmers.
Yes, programmers, and they are doing it. So we are celebrating that the majority are now coming in. It is no longer a feminine thing. Women have to do this, and then we are opening it up, and we are telling them it is possible. You can do it. So and so has done it. That's where we're talking about the mentorship things. Can we get to those who are doing it so that they can say, "Oh, there is this one I can learn from." Yes. But also using social media. Social media is used in various ways. You can use it for marketing. We are seeing the LinkedIn, Facebook, though we still have
Twitter,
Facebook,
TikTok.
TikTok, Snapchat. We see so many things happening. So women are using them. And of course, they're using them for digital marketing, like I said, because e-commerce, digital marketing, they're all in one package.
In one package.
Yeah, so.
Okay. Now, also that brings me to that, whereby can you share your thoughts on the role of continuous learning and skill development in helping women to stay competitive and adaptable in today's rapidly changing business landscape?
If you're not prepared in the current times, you can be swallowed up.
Yeah.
So how do you stay afloat? By staying afloat, you have to ensure that there is continuous learning. Learning is
exactly.
what is the new technology trending, what are the new markets, you know, which products are selling.
Yes.
You know, you have to keep yourself abreast of all the things that are happening around you. So for me, continuous learning is a must. That even when I meet Andrew today, there is something that I'm tapping from
You're
Andrew.
tapping.
Yes,
learning.
you always have to be listening on what is happening and how can this help me to thrive my business. Basically that. Whenever you go to meet someone or you're having a conversation, you're always listening with your goal in mind. What am I taking from this engagement? That is exactly what I can say. Learning has to be a must every day. Make sure that every day you're
You
writing
learn
down
something.
what you've learned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that brings me to a perspective here. When you talk about learning, there is a narrative I hear about women, also especially when it comes to the financial, them being taught the financial literacy in the financial literacy aspects in there. That most of them, what they are taught, seem to be so academic in nature. Yet when you approach women from teaching them this business knowledge, you normally approach it from a psychological perspective. In other words, you're logical. How does that reconcile? The academic bit of it is largely for men. So how true is that? And okay, if it is logical, as women are logical and psychological, how are they using that to impact society?
You know, it all depends on what you want to gain from this. The reason why you're participating in the, let me say, the business financial literacy classes, if you're invited in there, have the right questions to ask. It's not a matter of just somebody pouring things into your head like you are an empty kind of tin. No, you understand some of these things. For example, if we are training these market women, they're not coming from an empty vessel. They're running their businesses, however small they are, but they know, can you get down to the practical bit that makes somebody understand?
Yes.
And can you get to them to start now identifying issues around them that they can turn to be entrepreneurial? You know, that people are not listening.
Yes.
People don't do research, like I said, but they're not listening. They are not observing. Because this is where the entrepreneurs are coming up with innovations and creativity and all that to come up with solutions to solve problems that are affecting the society. So the whole thing is, are people thinking? You know, because it gets to a point whereby people are not thinking. They're not thinking. They want others to think for them and they bring solutions to them. But look at your community. Think for it. What are the problems? And that is where you will get your entrepreneurial kind of breakthrough. And said, this is what I'm going to do for the community, and how will it, you know, affect the community?
And
so for me,
it's okay.
Yeah.
Do you think women still, because I'm seeing quite a lot from what you've mentioned, searching all these come from a place of mentorship, because they need to, their minds have to be opened out to some of these realities.
Exactly.
But do you think even once these mentorship sessions are out there, are the women using these opportunities in your own observation? Because I know you are dealing with them. Are they really taking chances? And if yes, why do we still have the gap or their gap in participation in entrepreneurship? Other factors, of course, held constant.
Yeah, held constant, like you've said. For me, you know, bringing these things to the women, you have to first understand who they are. Because women are not homogeneous.
Okay.
We are different. So, are you bringing something which is tailor-made and say, this is the mentorship I'm going to give you?
Oh,
you understand?
Tailor-made mentors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you should understand the category you're working with. What are they interested in? And who is that mentor who will suit this journey? You understand? I'm not going to bring somebody who is into construction to come and speak to the market woman who is selling groceries. Yes, she might have a message to say stay resilient or what, or think big or whatever, but I would need to hear somebody who is an export, exporting groceries. Somebody who is into adding value on some of these products. They will listen. Okay, this is what I'm interested in. You understand? But again, this is also costly and time consuming.
Time consuming.
Yes, because if these people are busy, understand?
Okay.
So if I've given you time that, Andrew, I'll be mentoring you from 7 to 8. You have to make sure you're there by 8. I don't have to call you. You understand? Because
Absolutely.
you know what you need. What do you need as you?
Absolutely.
Yes. So,
Self-driven person.
yes, this is what I want. I need to get there.
Are they self-driven?
Yes, but the exposure also limits these people because they feel like, you know, for us, we are meant to be there. As long as I get my company, eat food, and pay school fees, I'm there. As in, are they thinking big? Are they having those people they are looking up to? I would have to be like that. So,
Yes.
like I said, access to information.
Now, this brings me to a point of evaluation and follow-up for some of these women that participate in these sessions. Because we know for sure most women run businesses, the reason being why they contribute a big percentage to the informal sector, they run businesses from a perspective of survival, that you know, this business is going to help me probably pay my bills, or so many, because maybe some are single mothers, and that is what they're thinking about. And the day probably they get married to another man, they'll drop that business entirely. You know, do we do follow-ups in terms of following up, making sure that you are transforming? For example, if you've been selling gonja on the street, you're now having another stall of gonja, and you're even employing people from gonja. Now you're transitioning to starting up a coffee kind of or a lunch or a small restaurant where you cook food. You know, now these are already your stock. You establish a snack hub. I mean, I'm talking about that transition. Do we follow up these women to actually see how far, and in case they are stuck at the micro level, do we try to find out why for those specific women that are mentored? Because I think that's how we track progress.
Yes, thank you, Andrew. And to give you the clear example, I think I would just bring you to our IST so that we can have this talk, because it's a long one. You have to measure impact. You don't just go and implement and you live there. You have to
measure impact.
Yes.
Exactly.
If you said you're going to train women, you know, and your project is on access to markets, what have you done? You are changing mindset. You're trying to diversify women, to diversify their businesses. This one is answerable. It's not only to the partners we work with that you have to report to the donor, but you also want to see the change, the transformation.
The transformation that you put. Exactly.
Because we empowering women in leadership, transformational leadership. We are seeing women taking on leadership and saying, wow, this is it. We are seeing women building their homes, having, you know, beautiful homes. You know, others have become suppliers, and you're like, wow, this is beautiful. Beautiful. But how did that journey start? That women were working individually, you know, like, it's my individual thing, it's my thing, it's my thing. And then access to resources like finances became a challenge for them. And we had now to look for a solution. What can we do? It was organizing these women to come together, to work as one, formalize their cooperatives. And as the institute, we are putting a revolving fund. There is already a revolving fund to support them, through the cooperatives.
Okay.
But the first step was for them to put money in their cooperatives.
Themselves?
Yes. I don't come and put money in an empty basket. How? How safe am I?
Okay.
You know,
you need
this
to
money has to go around to different groups. That's why it's called revolving.
Okay.
Yes. Use this money. I want to see the impact.
So they have to pay it back?
They have to bring it back. Things are no longer for free. We are looking at investment. The donors are no longer there. So we're looking, how do we continue ensuring that our work moves, but we're empowering women strongly, especially in line with access to finance, access to markets. So the impact is there.
Is there.
And we do monitor.
Amazing, very beautiful. That's, of course, it's been a pleasure to have you. And now we come to the end of the show today, 10 minutes to the top of the Our Smart Men's Business. My guest this morning has been Maureen Wagubi. He's the Executive Director at that is Institute for Social Transformation. Well, thanks for being part of this edition of the Smart Men's Business. Of course, wishing you a very fruitful week. It's Monday, the beginning of the week. Of course, time to strategize and ensure that all is set right. The mistakes that were committed the last week, well, should be there should be a better strategy for you to perform better. Well, till tomorrow, good morning.